So go ahead and hit that record button. All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. It's me, Michelle. I'm back here at Links to Learning. I hope you're doing well this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. I woke up this morning. I'm trying to wake up with the sun, which is getting a little bit easier because the sun rises a little bit later in the day, and just reminding how good Creator is, how good all of the land, all of the beauty around us. And so in this moment, we just we press pause, we take a deep breath, and we give thanks to Creator for the gifts that are around us all. We're just coming off of the National Truth and Reconciliation Day, which was September 30th, also Orange Shirt Day. And while that was a really great day, I hope wherever you were, there was some good celebrations. But sometimes, when those moments happen, and even today is the Stolen Sisters March later on tonight in the city where I'm at, it can be hard for us. So I hope while you're out there, making connections, telling the stories, listening to stories, of our people and the history and the struggle, that you also take time to take care of yourself. You take time to offer those good prayers and make that good connection first and foremost with Creator. And it's also a beautiful day and here in Nisichawayasihk anyway. So I hope that you are able to go just take a moment and breathe in that good fresh air and stand on that land and connect with that Mother Earth. So wherever you are, I hope you are well. I hope that you are safe and you're here. We welcome you here with open arms. And we say, just come today with an open mind, open spirit. We got a really great guest speaker. Today's topic is highlighting community economic development. So today, which is like super exciting, we are highlighting the winner of the Cando Community of the Year Award, which is the Nelson House Development Corporation. So we have our guest speaker, David Kobliski, who is the executive director, coming to share. So we're really excited to hear what you have to share, what's going on, the projects, the initiatives. And then there's also the joint venture with Manitoba Hydro. So we're looking forward to hearing what you have to say today. David, thank you so much. So David's joining us. He's in Winnipeg. After this session, he's off to another session. So we're just honored that you have taken a moment to be with us and to share all that's going on where you are. I believe you said you live in Thompson, Manitoba. So I'm reading his bio and I can't quite pronounce the Cree Nation that you're from, but I trust that you will let us know. But he left his community when he was 11 years old, moved to Saddle Lake First Nations here in Alberta. And then he returned back to his home community when he graduated in grade 12. So this is cool news. He became a commercial pilot and started his own air charter service and was in the air for about 7 years. He then moved back to work with the Nelson House Development Corporation, where he has been since 1997. Well, no wonder you are the executive director. So we're just honored to have you here. I believe you're going to inspire us. So thank you so much for lending your voice to our webinar today. So I'm going to pass the mic to you.
Thank you, Michelle. It's actually an honor to be speaking and sharing my story. It was also an honor winning the Community Award with Cando. Like you had said, I started in 1997 with the Development Corporation. When I first started, our nation was on the verge of third-party management. And I had a budget of $233,000 to work with. And Our First Nation had nothing, like no businesses, nothing. So what I did was I asked for the financials for the nation. I wanted to know how much money was coming into the community, where it was all being spent. So the first things that popped out at me was the amount of money that they were spending on gas, the amount of money they were spending on building supplies, like for housing and renovations, the amount of money spending on groceries. It was all money that they were giving away to others that didn't reinvest back or contribute to our First Nation in growing economically. So every business that we own is 100% owned by the nation. We have, I think it's 21, 23 businesses in total. Of those businesses, 3 of them are partnerships. And that was something that I was against, but we had no choice but to go with it. But in hindsight, it was a good decision. So we have two gas bars, one in the community of Nelson House and one in the city of Thompson. We have 3 grocery stores, 25,000 square feet in the city of Thompson, another one that's 20,000 square feet in Nisichawayasihk Cree Nation in Tinicum Mall. And we also have a 10,000 square foot grocery store in our own community. We also have our own building supplies. We purchase direct for all our housing from the manufacturers. We don't deal with any middlemen in any of our businesses. We also manufacture our own kitchen cabinets. We also manufacture our own doors for all our housing and renovation needs. We also own 44% of a cannabis retail outlet in the city of Thompson. It's the smallest retail outlet in Manitoba and the biggest revenue generating retail outlet. We also own a bar. We also own a hotel. We also own our own fiber. Like we own the fiber for high-speed internet in our community, which generates $85,000 a month in profit because we own it. What else do we have? Plus, we have the Manitoba Hydro Dam that we went into partnership with. It was a $1.6 billion project. We own 33% of it. And by the year 2030, we'll be receiving approximately $50 to $54 million a year in profit, just on that alone. I'm currently in the process of negotiating and purchasing the City Center Mall in the city of Thompson. I'm also currently negotiating and First Nation and owning a mining company. And the funny thing about the mining company is it's only going to cost us $3 million to be the owner. And a lot of people don't understand. It's not hard to own a mine. And what we did is we hired an exploration company to do some exploration within our resource area. There was 5 promising locations. It's going to cost $4 million to do the drilling to identify the depth, the size, and the quality of the minerals. So we're creating a company. With the exploration company, they're going to put in $1 million. We're putting in $3 million. They own 25%. We own 75%. If the results of the drilling and samples and come back positive, then we take that information, because we now own it, and look for the investors and starting building and developing the mine. If everything goes accordingly, we probably start extracting mineral anywhere from 10 to 15 years from now. So that's the easy way of owning a mine. Now, when I say we own every business 100%, I find entering into joint ventures partnerships, it's not necessary. And that when I've set up the building supplies, we joined one of the largest buying groups in North America in order to purchase direct. Our grocery stores, we purchase directly from Sobeys, and we also purchase direct from other wholesalers. And all our businesses are independent. They don't operate under anybody's banner name except ours. And we make millions of dollars doing that. Anybody that comes into your community and says, this is what we'll do for you, I usually walk away, and I tell First Nations, don't do it. You can do it yourself. And I've proven over the years, being 100% owned, you maximize on the benefits financially and under the employment and training that comes with being the owner. And because of the number of businesses that we have, we access approximately $4.1 to $4.2 million a year in employment and training dollars. And that's from the apprenticeship board. That's from other organizations that provide employment and training dollars for businesses. So that's a huge advantage that our nation has. We probably do with just the businesses alone, not including the hydro dam, we do an average of $36 to $46 million a year in profit. The majority of our businesses are debt-free. So we own approximately $90 million in capital. What we have in the city of Thompson, it's all on the urban reserve, except for the grocery store. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we also have our own NC and Thompson bus lines, which we provide transportation to and from Winnipeg and to other communities in between, and plus charter service for sports teams and other events. And we're currently exploring and opening up our own pharmacy, also in the city of Thompson. What else we got? Well, we supply, design, and construct all our homes in the community. We also supply and design to other First Nations for their homes, and they purchase their building supplies through us. Same thing with all our groceries, all our gas. The other First Nations purchase from us. There's 27 First Nations in total in surrounding the city of Thompson. So I always tell those First Nations that they could be doing the same thing that we're doing, either at a smaller or larger scale. That First Nations, they already have the money to do what we're doing. A lot of First Nations don't realize that they already have the money. So And that's how I started. I don't sign agreements. Suncor supplies all our gas, and we get our gas 3.5 cents a liter cheaper than anybody else in Manitoba. Sobeys supplies us all our groceries and products 7% cheaper than Safeway stores across Canada. So, and those are things that a lot of First Nations don't realize they can also have. Oh yeah, we don't pay for freight for any of our grocery stores. And because we don't pay freight, it actually increases our profits approximately 250 to 300,000 a year per store. So I don't know what more I could say other than everything that I'm doing. Every First Nation can be doing it. And like I said, they could be doing it at a smaller scale or a larger scale. And I've worked with other First Nations and helping them get set up. I worked with Onion Lake First Nation. I also worked with Fisher River Cree Nation and setting up their building supplies. And what else is there that I can say that in regards to employment, I target the youth as for the positions that we have available in all our businesses. I find targeting the youth and getting them before they get into relationships is the best thing to do, because when you employ people that are already in a relationship, they tend to not be as reliable because they're busy with family, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, when the reason why I target the youth is I give them that sense of being independent and not relying on anybody except themselves. And once you get them into that rut of being independent and loving what they do, they stay. Majority of my employees have been with me since day one. Majority of my managers are women, and people ask me, why are all your managers women? And I tell them that I find women are more detailed, more organized, and they get the job done. I said, whereas with us men, we tend to do things half-assed. And that I don't manage my employees manage me. And because if they don't tell me what needs to be done, I can't help them. And I don't treat my employees like kids. I treat them as they're adults. They all know what they're hired for, and I expect them to fulfill their roles and responsibilities. But at the same time, I expect them to tell me what to do so I could help them. And they like that. Now, the reason why I'm still here is because the terms of reference and the policies that the Development Corporation has keeps the politics out of the businesses. But at the same time, when I first started, the vision of the nation was to become self-sufficient, self-sovereignty, and self-governing First Nation. I can say we've now achieved that we are self-sufficient and they are self-governing, because it's Chief and Council that decides where the profits are going to get spent. It's not government. like like INA or government funding that First Nations receive, the nation doesn't get to decide how it's spent. They're already told where they're going to spend it and how much. Whereas with our nation, we decide where we're going to spend the money and where we're going to like either subsidize programmings that are short funded or start new businesses. And we don't just concentrate on businesses within our community or in the city of Thompson. We look and pursue businesses anywhere in Canada. I call it chasing the money. Is there any questions anybody would like to ask?
Yeah, let's open it up for some questions. One question, and then Ken I see has a question, but what does economic development and prosperity mean to you? And I feel like you've really captured this in your presentation today, but if you could just tell us maybe some more specifics, what that means to you in your community and what you see happening.
Well, I see it as an opportunity for the youth. Like I say, one door opens another and another and another. I've had youth come to me and applying for jobs that we have available, and I usually ask them, the first question I'll ask them is, what do you want to do? Like, I don't want you coming to me just because you're looking for a paycheck, you know, week to week. I want to know what it is that you want. So I've had individuals who've come to me to say, well, I'm applying for the cashier position. And then when I find out, like, they want to be an electrician or a plumber, I'll move them to our building supplies and construction where they can work towards getting their apprenticeship and red seal as a plumber or electrician or a carpenter. And because I'm putting them into a position that they want to do and they love, they work hard and they get the job done. Because now they're working towards what they want, not a paycheck. Like I always say, back in the day, if you went to our school and you asked the students, what would you want to be when you grow up? Because back then, the only people we saw were teachers, nurses, and policemen, and pilots. And those were the choices that the children would pick. But now we have all these different businesses. When you ask them, what do you want to be? They all want to be managers. They want to be accountants, supervisors, carpenters, like, and getting to start their own businesses, which is great, and it's also fun. And when I say fun, I enjoy watching individuals achieve their goals, and then reaping the rewards of achieving that. So.
I love how you mentioned the young people. And I think that's where, as if we're going to thrive, if we're going to continue to thrive as nations, as a people, I think it's really important to put in that good energy, that good teaching into our young people. So I love that you had talked about that. We do have some questions in the chat box. So we're going to go with Ken's question. How do you reduce the cost of freight?
Well, I negotiated with Sobeys, and what I said to them was, this is how much business we're doing. And I have no intention of getting any smaller. I plan on growing. There's other suppliers out there that want our business. So in order for me to grow and also to assist Sobeys in growing. I said, this is what I need from Sobeys. So Sobeys agreed that they would take care of all the freight. So we have 15 dedicated trucks just for our 3 stores. And it's a cost that Sobeys incurs in order for us, because they know I am expanding and they don't want to lose our business.
That's great. The vision that you have for the community is phenomenal. So when I see your question, Robert, we're going to get to it, but I'm curious as to when you started. So you had this idea, we want to be self-sustaining, self-sufficient, self-governing, and we're going to do that. And we're not going to assign partnerships, which I kind of leads to Robert's questions. But then what would be then, you said, if people asked you how to do this, just say, you just got to do it. But what would be a next step, like a practical, tangible next step that you could say, this is the direction, this is the path to where we are today?
Right. And that's what I did with the gas bar. I looked at the financials, pointed out to leadership. I said, look, this is how much money we're spending on gas in our community. I said, we can own and operate our own gas bar and own it 100%. And this is what it's going to cost to do it. We don't need to apply for grants or funding from government to do it. Just take the business plan to the bank, give us the loan. It pays itself off.
So a good business plan. That's the tangible, practical step. Which leads, okay, so that while we're on this topic of, wanting to be self-sufficient. So the question from Robert, you said something on agreements. Can you expand on why you wouldn't sign any agreements?
The reason why I don't sign any agreements is because as soon as you sign on the dotted line, you lose control and you don't get the service. So with Suncor, who supplies our gas to our gas bars, one of the things, like we built the buildings ourselves. They came to me and asked if we would operate under their banner. And I told them, okay, what's all involved? And they said, well, you operate under our banner, we build it, we provide all the equipment, we provide the POS system, we lease it all to you, and we get 2% of all purchases, and that was the deal. And I told them, I said, no, I said, I don't operate like that. I said, but if you like your banner to be at our gas bar, I said, I'll charge you a fee. And they said, well, we don't operate that way either. And I said, okay. I said, you guys can provide a quote on being a supplier. And I went out to all of the gas suppliers like Shell, Suncor, Penner Oil, and Suncor came back at 3.5 cents cheaper than everybody else. Plus, we get 1.5 cents a rebate per liter. And on top of that, they provided the tanks and the pumps, and they maintain them. And as long as they maintain the pumps and the tanks, they're selling gas. And it doesn't cost me nothing for maintenance. We own the building 100%. We own the POS system. All the shelving, the coolers are provided by our suppliers. So there's no cost to us on that.
So you stood true to what you felt like you need to honor. And here you are, fast forward, there's no debt. I think that's what I heard in the presentation. You have no debt. In fact, you have an incredible profit that's happening. So that's remarkable, absolutely remarkable. Sticking to what you know to be true in order for you the community to get to this place, you had to stand your ground.
Right.
That's
No,
honorable.
all of the manufacturers, wholesalers, and people that I deal with, I just tell them, as long as you keep the pencil sharp, you can supply us as long as you want. And they also know I keep an eye on a lot of the invoices to make sure that they are keeping the pencil sharp. And that's the kind of relationship I have.
So good communication, you're diligent, you're thorough, you're clear on the vision. What else? What else is there? Like, have you experienced any challenges? Tell us how you got through it.
The people that I deal with, I practice, it's got to be a win-win. I'm not interested in lopsided relationships. It has to be a win-win. If it's not a win-win and one party is not happy, it ain't going to succeed. And I make it very clear when I say win-win. I've come across instances where the people that I deal with were shortchanging themselves, and I pointed out to them that, hey, you're shortchanging yourself. And because I pointed it out to them, and they realized that I am a guy that's going to do my best to work with them, and they work with me. I don't tell them this is what I want. I tell them, how can we make this happen?
So just elaborating on that. So Robert has a question. It says the development of your economic development corporation, what were some of the challenges you faced, such as capacity issues? Do you have, and then I have another question, but I'll wait for that. It just came out of Robert's question. So let's tend to that question.
Okay. What was the question?
All right. So it is in the chat box. So that it says the development of your economic development corporation. What were some of the challenges you faced, such as were there capacity issues?
When I first started, everybody, a majority of the people were screaming at leadership, jobs, where's the jobs? So finding people, because I started off with the gas bar, it was slowly building up and generating that revenue in order to leverage to start up the next business, and then so forth. Everybody already knew ahead of time, okay, this is what's coming down the pipe, and people got ready for that. And after that was done, they said, oh, okay, now he's getting into this. They got prepared for that, because every business didn't just start like bang, bang, bang. It took time. So everybody had time to prepare. And the ones that really wanted those positions were the ones that I hired. Now, the challenges I had is leadership. The chief and council, they knew what the vision was, but you always get the odd councillor or chief who have different thoughts or ideas. And an example of challenges is when we started our building supplies company, council didn't like it because they were so used to being catered by other lumber companies for their business, and they would take them out to the city and pay the hotel rooms and their flights and whatnot for them to sign on the dotted line. But because we have our own building supplies company right in the community, they no longer had to travel or be catered to, because here we're purchasing direct from the manufacturers who are supplying these other lumber companies. So why would you want to buy from them? They're not reinvesting back into our community or our people. We are. So
Okay.
so educating leadership and those people that were on council to make them understand and educate them on why supporting local is the best route to go. And these are the benefits.
It seems to me that you have really good negotiation skills, good communication skills. So would you say that you have a good relationship, which probably took a long time to get there with the chief and council?
Well, I tell people I'm the best tightrope walker in northern Manitoba.
Fair, that's fair. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for David? Oh, here we go. How do you keep on top of the changing costs and changing community expectations? That's a good one, Ken.
We're always reviewing our margins on all the businesses. We always review our costs, whether it's building supplies, gas, groceries, or anything else for that matter. And in regards to the community expectations, we have a 5-year community plan that more or less it's a living document and it's always being upgraded. We already know what we're going to do in the next 5 years. So
That's great. I think that's great. Okay, I'm just writing some notes here, David. You're dropping some good good advice here. Good pieces, good nuggets of knowledge. Does anyone have any other questions for our guest speaker? So remember, this is the executive director of the organization that won the Cando Community of the Year award. So just kind of David sharing a bit of what they have been doing and where they are right now as a community. I mean, it's no wonder why you won this award, that you're really, showing us how it could be done. You're showing us the prosperity and the ability to, make sure that the community is being taken care of and that you can do it.
one of the other things I forgot to mention was we also own 10 5-bedroom units that we lease to the Jordan's Principal and the Wellness Center in our community. It cost us $2.5 million to build these 10 5-bedroom units, which brings 40 children back into the community. And because of those 10 units and the 40 children that have come back into the community, it created 80 full-time jobs in the community, and it also provided the Development Corporation with another $324,000 a year in lease revenue. And again, all I had to do was give the bank the lease agreement for $27,000 a month. Mortgage was only $18,000, so it pays itself.
Brilliant. And that's also this is what's happening in our community. That one touched my heart. It almost brought tears to my eyes because I love that, bringing our kids back home, back to community where they belong. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing this. Well, it doesn't seem to me that there's any more questions, but what an inspiration, what an example. Thank you so much, David, for being here, and congratulations on the award, the community. Let me say it again. The Cando Community of the Year award. No wonder why you folks won it. So congratulations to that. Thank you for being here. And thank you all for joining us this Tuesday. We hope to see you next time. I hope you all have a good rest of the day. Always take care of your own spirit. And also take care of the community, the circle that's around you as well. There's always ways where we can lend our gifts, our voice, our vision to make our circles and nations that much stronger, just as David has talked to us about today. So be well, take care, and we'll see you next time.
Are we done?
We're done.
Okay.
Can you speak on financial management before you go?
Sure. I have 2 finance clerks and I have an accountant that works out of the city of Thompson. And our profit margins on every one of our businesses runs at approximately 15 to 28%. I have 500,000 a week that goes through my office, like in cash. We have financial policies in place. There's nothing gets approved without my signature, and the other approval comes from either the chief or one of the councillors. The bank that I work with, anything over 10,000, they're going to call me directly to ensure that it's an approved expenditure. We do our balances and checks every month to ensure that everything's balancing. If there's a discrepancy or there's a question, we usually get on top of it right away. So other than that, when it comes to our finances, we stay on top of it. So. Was there anything specific you were looking for in regards to that question? Hello?
No, just wanted your thoughts on it. That's all. Something that our First Nation is we're in that economic development, just developing our corporation, and probably this is probably where we're going to go in this kind of direction. I just wanted to pick your brain a bit, and I'm off to another meeting here pretty soon at 6:30 in regards to some.
Our policy when it comes to profits, 75% of the profits go to the nation and 25% stays with the development corporation, and it gets paid out at year end, like April 1st. So chief of council, they can't come to me and say, we want $1 million today. Like the answer is going to be no. You get your money April 1st. They develop a budget to account for those monies that they receive.
And those are in the terms of reference, I guess, eh? Those are developed in those tour?
Yes. No advances.
So to me, that sounds like you have some really, really good, strong boundaries around financial management, which is super important.
Right. And we don't give credit either.
Okay, well, thank you so much for answering Robert's question. That was a good question, Robert. Thank you. Okay.
No other questions? We're done?
We're done. Examaga.
All right.
Okay, we'll see you next time, everyone.